Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex. For those who know me or not, I've been living in the Czech Republic for a year. So for this video, I wanted to share with you, first of all, an apartment tour, and second of all, some tips regarding what is useful to know before renting an apartment here in the Czech Republic. Now let's go to the apartment tour first. This is the entrance of the apartment. As you can see, it has two doors. I am not exactly sure why, but as you can see, you have one door and you have another door to close that door. Maybe, I guess it's for privacy purposes. I don't know, but this is how it's set. So once you're in, you get into this little reception area where there are 5 doors. The first one here to the left is the toilet, and it's just normal toilet. Czech apartments though, the only thing that was kind of interesting to me, it was that Czech toilets usually are separated from the rest of the house. Another thing you will find here is the shoe place, because Czechs usually take off their shoes when they go in or they go out. I guess it's mostly to keep the apartment as clean as possible with as little effort as possible. That's me. On this next door, we have the kitchen. We have a normal fridge, a table. I have another room there, balcony, I have the stove, some dishes, microwave, pantry, and another closet there. I have a balcony there. Maybe it's not really as nice as it could be, but yeah, it's a little balcony. And then once again, our kitchen from the other side. Yep, this is basically the kitchen. This is where the cooking happens. That's my roommate's door, so we're not really gonna get in there because of privacy. On this next door, we have the bathroom. Mind the noise because I'm currently washing my clothes. We have a washing machine, more water boiler, the bathtub, sink, some closet for appliances and stuff, another mirror. This is a pretty just average bathroom. And then on this side, we have my room. I have a sofa here, a book with my Czech drawers. I was doing laundry. I tried really not to over clean it that much, so you can see how it looks normally. I don't have a closet, but I bought this stuff. It's where I keep all my shoes and things. That's my desk. I was working on some stuff when I got the idea to do this. That's another mirror. And that is my view to a beautiful park. And last but not least, I wanted just to show you a small view of my beautiful view from the city. So this is basically my apartment. As I mentioned in the video, I rent with flatmates. But the room I have for myself. So, and for this particular room, I pay 6,900 Czech crowns. Now let's talk about a few things that is important for you to know if you want to move here. Let's go. First things first is finding an apartment here is really hard. There is a lot of competition since this is a student city. Basically, the hardest times to get an apartment is when the school is about to start, so around August and September, and maybe around January and February are the worst times to look for an apartment because a lot of students are coming.
That being said, also finding an apartment before coming here and not being here actually present may become a little bit harder, so it's best to look for an apartment once you're here. What a lot of my friends did is they came here, they stayed in somewhere for a few months, and then they moved to their own place where they found. Second of all is where to find an apartment. There are various options. The first one, and an easy one but a little bit more expensive, is doing it through a real estate agency. A real estate agency will charge you about 1 month rent, but it will be pretty easy. They will arrange the contract, they will arrange everything, and basically what you just need to know is let them know what your budget is and where do you want to live, and they will see if they can find you something. The second way is online, and there are several pages that I will try to put some here and also put in the description below, where you can find rooms for rent, and all this have several listings, and they are not really moderated or controlled by anybody, so really be really careful with those because there is some scam advertisements on those as well. Not all of them, but there are some, so you just have to be smart and take everything with a grain of salt. Number 3, don't feel discouraged if some of the apartments don't want to rent a room on an apartment for you just because you're a foreigner. That is something that sadly happens very often, and it is not just a racist thing, but what a lot of people have told me is that some people just some landlords just want Czech speakers because they need to communicate in Czech, or they do not speak English or any other language. And the other one is some apartments, they are not fully legal, so if you as a foreigner want to rent, you will need some contract and something that says that an apartment is fully registered and everything, and you are able to live there. And some people just don't want to deal with the hassle of registering their apartment. And another important thing to know is that the rent is usually divided in 2 things. The first is the actual rent, and the second one is what they call utilities, which is like the added services for usually electricity and gas and water, and the prices may really vary according to the utilities. Another thing important to know about the utilities is that they are calculated on an average consumption on a yearly basis. So that means that you will not pay each month what you use, but you will pay a fixed fee, which means that by the end of the year, if you used more than what it was expected for you to use, you may pay the extra. If you use less, you may get some money back. And depending on where it is, older buildings tend to have higher utilities, newer buildings tend to have lower, but on average I would say it's anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 or 3,000 depending on how many people are actually living in the apartment. One other thing to take into consideration is read the contract. You never know what you could get, and some deals can be really shitty. And sadly, I have heard of some stories of people having to pay some extra fees because they didn't really read carefully their contract. So make sure that you read the contract, and if you do not understand Czech, there are some people who are willing to check that your contract does not have any bullshit clauses. So make sure that that you would check everything before signing any contract. And that would be it for this video. Make sure to click subscribe, and if you have any questions that you want to make me regarding this process, regarding finding an apartment, anything, make sure to leave them on the comments below, and I'll be more than glad to answer them. So I hope you all have a good day in your respective apartments, and bye.